But that's part of listening to your body. That's what I've been talking about. Listen to yourself. Your body knows. I'm pretty sure if you're like us and you're Christians and you actually believe that your body was made perfect, that it'll tell you when you're hungry.
Tell you a lot.
Tell you a lot. Absolutely. It will tell you when you are depressed. It will tell you when you're frustrated. It will tell you when something needs to change immediately. Just like touching a stove. You will have that jerk in your heart. Ah. But yeah, we don't listen to ourselves. I think it's because we do too much scrolling these days.
I think there's a few more factors to it, but
yeah. And I think that's how we deal with trauma. We kind of just block it all out a lot of times.
I think it's good to like I said, with balance. Like, if you spend time, at least in quiet, you know what I mean? Even if you got some on in the background, you can find balance.
Yeah.
Where you can find time to not only talk with yourself, but I spend so much time talking to myself. It's retarded. Yeah,
it's not retarded. It's good. I wake up really early in the morning sometimes. Chief will be just, goodness, he just be knocked out drooling. And I'm up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, sitting up thinking, enjoying time, just kind of just planning, dreaming, just reviewing. We keep ourselves too busy to hear the voice of our body. People don't let themselves slow down enough to listen to it. Absolutely. We've done that on purpose. Sometimes it's on purpose. And I think that's sad because then we medicate, right? Because we're not used to hearing our own voice, not used to dealing with the situation that is right in front of us. Put it on the background, put it in the back burner. And you get to the point where you're like, well, kind of fighting myself to not think about what I need to think about. And now it's anti-anxiety medications. Anti this, anti that. Chemical imbalance this. No. You just need to stop.
So I think,
listen.
I think, when they tried using that stuff to start with, I think it was in hopes to kind of shut down one problem at a time. Like, I'm saying that possibly it's hypothetical, but maybe the original thought was okay, well, deal with this problem. Okay, when this is solved, we wean off this medication. And you know what I mean? I think that may have been the original intention.
Okay.
But we're too complex for that.
Absolutely.
If you're going to drop one thing at a time, you have to do it literally here first. You have to.
You might want to come closer back.
Deal with one item on your plate. If you deal with one item at a time, you can clear your plate quickly.
Yeah.
It may be long, it may be tedious.
Yeah.
But maybe you might find two things on your plate that you can mix together and just shovel down.
Yeah, how many times have you said, okay, this is going to be the last time? The last time. I'm going to talk to that type of person. I'm going to do this. I'm going to date that type of person. This is the last time I hit the snooze button before I go to the gym that I'm going to. And then we end up doing it again. I think it's because we don't think through the reasons why we do that or think through our motivation for changing it. Why do you want to change it? Because if you're just doing stuff because the latest TikTok, Twitch, YouTuber said to do it, nobody's going to be there at 3, 4, 5, 7 in the morning when you need to go ahead and roll out of bed. When you need to make that decision, you have to know why you're doing it. And using medication suppresses that. I'm not a fan of them. I told you, or I may not have mentioned this on this stream before, but one of my brothers, I feel like he has Asperger's, which means he doesn't quite process emotions like the rest of us, which is fine. We need those kind of people. Those kind of people will be geniuses. Those kind of people will allow us to have flying cars one day. Like, they are just head down, no emotion or very little emotion. It's logical. And so, but my mom, unfortunately, passed away, like I mentioned. It was right after he turned an adult. And he didn't know how to process that. He had taken some extreme measures to basically do harm to himself. Eventually, it would do harm to himself. And my aunt, who was staying in the same city with him at the time, decided to take him to go to, a therapist or a psychologist. Eventually, put him on medication. When he showed up here in Tulsa with me, I was like, bro, come on out. I hear you're having a hard time. Don't worry about it. Come move out here. We'll get a 2-3 bedroom apartment. We'll just grind it out. We'll work through it. When he showed up to my apartment, he was a zombie. No one had taken the time to listen to him. He hadn't gotten the chance to process his own emotions. He immediately fell back into a zombie state because that is their solution. If you can't deal with it, well, at least you're not harming yourself. No. I got him here. I said, flush him. I don't care. I'm not but you are now under my roof. I now have responsibility for you. You're going to flush them. He came alive. After that stuff worked out of his system. He himself was able to pinpoint stuff in his childhood, in his own mind, that maybe he perceived a situation because that was his view of it. He was able to do that himself by just getting off those medications. And I just sat back and asked some questions. He then worked jobs faithfully, 401k, and he was in his young 20s. This kid who some would have said should have been in a, locked up for mental issues. Not everybody has a mental problem. There is not that much mental problem out there. No. You're dealing with some stuff. You're struggling. You may need to forgive someone. You may need to look at things from a different perspective. You might need to stop harming yourself and stop doing the same thing. Change it around and try something new.